Brian Shoemaker joining you on Central Illinois Sports as we get you prepped for the upcoming Quincy Shootout coming up January 20th and 21st at Blue Devil Gymnasium in Quincy, Illinois. Speaking today with Coach Bill Armstrong. He leads the Link Academy Lions as they come back for their second year at the Shootout. Nationally ranked, on some polls, ranked as high as the top team in the nation on the national prep circuit. Coach, thank you for joining us today. How has your season been going so far?
Thank you for having me, Brian. So far, so good. We're 14-0, coming off 2 wins up in the Jordan Brand Classic in the Bronx, New York, and had a good time traveling up there. Played two really good teams and played well at times, good enough to get 2 wins. And now we're home and can kind of get in a little rhythm of practice and then playing every weekend. Really good competition over the next 4 weeks.
The biggest hit to your roster over the year, Coach, you lost a pair of All-Americans to Jordan Walsh, who is, of course, thriving at Arkansas right now, Julian Phillips, who's, I believe, over at Tennessee. Who are some of the key players that you have this year that have really stepped up to fill those roles of leadership for the Lions?
Well, you know what Jordan and Julian and all those guys last year did, the foundation that they laid to in year one get to the Geico National Championship with Coach Perry was just an incredible story within itself, and just allowed us to be able to recruit guys to come in and have a chance to build on what they've done and the foundation that they laid. And we got a deep roster, Brian. I don't know that anybody's more important than the other. We got 6 seniors who are all going to play at a high level of college basketball. Then our underclassmen are really good. Elliott just committed to North Carolina. So, Elliott's our starting point guard, is having a great year, leading us in assists, leading us in steals. Jacoby's are going to Baylor. Jacoby Walter, our two guard, is him and Cam go back and forth between our leading scorer about every game. He's having a heck of a year for us. Just really competes every time the ball's tipped in practice and in the game. Then you have Cam Carr, who's our other starting wing, who, like I said, along with Jacoby, is one of our leading scorers, and it's really up to his game to use his length and athleticism to do other things, rebound the ball, get deflections defensively, things of that nature. And then just our core of post players as well with, Corey Chest and Cade Phillips. Corey's going to LSU. He's really come on, man. I think he's shooting like 80% from the floor and just doing all the little things that we need done to help us win, along with Cade with the rim protection and the defense. And Cade's up there shooting in the high 60s from the floor as well. So those guys just bring an energy that you can't coach. And then off the bench, we have a kid named Tyler McKinley, who's a top 50 2024, has interest and offers from all of the Big Ten, from Cincinnati, his hometown. Just is going to be a special player as he continues to grow and get better. And then the young guards we have coming off the bench with Aaron Rowe and BJ Davis, both top 15 guys who I think will eventually be top 10 players in the country by the time they're seniors. Everybody in the country's been in to see them. And then Ryan Forrest, and who's going to Memphis, brings us a spark, just a scoring machine off the bench. He scored in double figures in probably 10 games this year. And then Arshawn King, another junior who has high major offers from the likes of Ole Miss and Memphis as well. And then Ben Linnemeyer is a big time shooter for us that can really play. Hasn't gotten the minutes that he would get at a normal traditional high school, but he practices hard every day and helps us more than even he could know. So every one of those guys has played a role in helping us get to where we're at 14-0. I don't think any one of them are more important than the other, from Elliott to Ben to Jacoby to Arshawn. I just think that we have what makes our team so good is that those guys are all so selfless and have sacrificed so much to where they could all be averaging 20 plus points and however many rebounds and assists and being the man on whatever high school team that they came from. But they all chose to come here and work hard and compete against each other every day to make themselves better, knowing that that's the commitment that they wanted to have to being great college players eventually, and then hopefully having a chance to play basketball professionally. So you got to take your hat off to these kids and the sacrifice that they've made and the work that they put in.
Brian Shoemaker on Central Illinois Sports. We're speaking with Coach Bill Armstrong from Link Academy, who's coming to pay a second year visit at the Quincy Shootout on January 20th and 21st. Coach, you go down the roster of players that you have here. You've got 7 kids that have committed, as you said, to Division I schools. You have a roster of kids that, as you mentioned, could probably be standouts on almost any high school team that they would normally stick around with. It sounds like a wonderful problem to have, but when you have kids that come in and you've got new talent coming in and out like this on an annual basis, what challenges does it actually pose your coaching staff?
Well, having all those players, the challenge is to get them to buy in and get them to accept a role that they, normally have never had or wouldn't have up to this point in their careers. And again, that all the credit goes to them for doing that. They've all come in and come together and bought into getting better. And because of that, that's why we're winning. Each one of them wants to just try to get better every day, and they compete. You ought to see our practices. I mean, it's a fun thing to do, to be able to coach that kind of talent and see these kids compete against each other every day, so that when the games come, they just really enjoy playing with each other and for each other, and they know the work that they've all put in, and they have one common goal. They came here to grow as men, spiritually, socially, physically, and to grow as basketball players, and that's what they're doing. And they see the growth, and they see the improvements, and they pull for each other. Man, I couldn't be more pleased with uh these kids, and it's a joy to get to coach them every single day.
You face 2 teams that, depending on what polls you look at across the country, are ranked in the top 15, top 20 in the nation on the prep circuit. Friday, January 20th, you'll take on Wasatch Academy out of Utah. And on Saturday, you'll take on Oak Cliff Faith Family out of Texas. Each of those teams are obviously probably going to be coming for you. They've probably got your date circled on the calendar, just as maybe you have theirs in these top 20 premier games. What challenges do those teams pose for your squad?
Two great teams. Both have a lot of wins this year and some really big wins. Like you said, both top 15, top 20 teams in the country, that, you know, night in and night out, they got a lot of talent as well, and they're going to be gunning for everybody. We're all playing for the same goal of trying to make Geico. But the opportunity to play those 2 teams, we look forward to, and the competition we look forward to. And like I said, each and every day for us, we just try to get better each day. And the games are a fun thing to do.
Coach, we're looking really forward to seeing your squad coming up here on January 20th and 21st at Quincy, Illinois. It's the Quincy Shootout at Blue Devil Gymnasium, and we're excited to see Link Academy. Coach, we thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you later on coming up here in the month.
Thanks for having us, Brian. We're excited to get up there, and looking forward to meeting you guys in person here in a couple of weeks.
You can learn more at quincyshootout.com or get on YouTube at Central Illinois Sports to learn how you can watch every game of the Quincy Shootout live on YouTube. This is Brian Shoemaker for Central Illinois Sports. We'll see you next time.